I know it's kind of ceremonious. You've been practicing, for a while, but just to be in the 20-hour weeks and now be officially in preseason, what's the feeling like?
Well, the in the old days you start October 15th, and it was like you really hadn't worked with your guys, and everything was new, and you had to get a lot done in a short amount of time. Now, I think the biggest challenge is figuring out what the right pace is, because you get going, and this time of year everybody's so gung-ho, and I used to have lunch with Judd Heathcote on Tuesdays, and Coach Few and I, we called it Tuesdays with Judd, and the one thing Judd always used to say to us, like, yep, let's hurry up and get them hurt. So, because you try to pour it on October 15th, 16th, 17th, and sometimes 2-a-days, those kind of things. But, I think that the challenge is finding the right pace, because you don't want to peak in September. You don't want to peak in October. The games don't start till November. But you also, there is a lot to get done, and especially when you're getting 8 new guys that did not play last year that are going to be playing this year, and try to figure out where the parts fit and how they go together. And so that's probably our biggest challenge that we face is what kind of lineups we can use and how they fit together.
What's the most exciting part of this time of year for you, Leon? What are you most excited about for this team as you kind of...
Well, the most exciting part is when the dust all settled, and you're starting to look around and you're like, wow, I love our team, because you've got 3 players that have been proven in the Mountain West, and they've proven they're 3 of the top players in the league. Where I don't know, are they 3 of the top 5, 3 of the top? Who knows? I don't care. They're just 3 of the best players in the Mountain West, and when you start a team with that nucleus, you got a good chance. And that's not to mention all the other guys that we're excited about. There's a lot of guys that we feel really, really good about, and it's just amazing the kind of guys we have and the character that we have in that locker room, and how quickly they gelled because of that. And so that part's really, really exciting, and I think it just makes it, when you have a team like that, it makes it so much fun to show up every day and coach them. You just can't wait, and they love it too. They want to, so I think that's why I have to be able to hold the reins back a little bit. These guys are, if I let the reins go, these horses want to run right now. So you gotta have a good pace to you.
Every team has its strengths or whatever. Where do you think this team might be further along than some other teams that you had?
Well, just the raw length and physicality has to be probably better than maybe some of the teams we've had. Because you think 2 years ago Tyson was playing center, and now when you look out there, you feel he just kind of blends in size-wise. So I think that in this league, it's a big, strong, physical league, and you have to be able to have that, and I think we've got a lot of that. A lot of different bodies we can throw at you. So that has to be one of them, and now how we use that and how we fit that all together, that's a big challenge.
What are you liking about the way that the transfers have integrated in with the program?
They just have such a maturity to them, and they're just such great guys and so coachable, and the other guys have helped them, and they seem like they're really, really comfortable. Al, our point guard from San Jose, was really familiar with our program, and I swear the first day he was already integrated as a leader, and that's uncommon, but that's a true point guard, when you can step in and take charge of a team right away, and they want you to do that, and they all believe in him, and he's making other guys better. So I think it's just their character and their willingness to want to fit in and want to add value to this team, and they're all doing that.
Has Alvaro's game kind of meshed the way you thought it would?
I think, just from summer and fall, I think it exceeded my expectations, because you don't know. When you watch guys on film and coach against them, you think you know them, and you kind of do. And I watched most every game he played in the last 3 years, and but you don't get to know what's behind that as far as the kind of person he is and kind of leader, kind of competitor he is. And, you know, a lot of things I think that we lost with Max, we're getting with Al. And that I was worried about losing that.
When you say that he kind of had an advantage having seen you, do you think it works both ways? Do you think you guys have an advantage because they've seen him?
Yeah, and they had a lot of respect for him. And they were excited to play because, you know, when you have a guy that is that willing of a passer and he just takes so much pride in it, he knows how to make others better. And that's boy, is that a skill. And when you have good players and a guy like that makes them better, then, you know, that's pretty exciting.
With Omar, he transfers in, hadn't played a lot, new system, new role. He's learning on the fly. Kind of that foot thing he was dealing with last year too. Just how much better is he positioned going into this year to have a big year than he was 12 months ago?
Yeah, just it's been amazing to see the transformation, and it does. I think it does start with the foot, because I was always so worried that if we practiced him too hard, you're going to show up and it's like, oh, I got to shut it down. I can't even run. And I mean, it was that bad. And so what he did last year was pretty remarkable, to play with that much pain and not to be able to practice as much as he wanted to or we wanted him to, because you had to protect him. And now he's feeling great, and he's a lot. I mean, he had a broken foot, and that kind of inhibits your jumping, I think. So to see what he's doing now has been really, really impressive.
Where does his game grow? Like, what do you see him?
Well, he just knows his strengths now better and how it fits in, and how, because a big part of being a great player is being able to play to your strengths. And now we know him better. He knows his strengths better, and now he can play to those, and that's what we're seeing right now.
How does Dylan Anderson, how's he looked and how does he fit in here?
Yeah, his progress has been terrific. But, you got to remember, this kid doesn't have much experience yet. I mean, in college. I mean, he was a heck of a high school player, and he was in a good program and, developed. But it's almost like he's a freshman. So, but he's coming along, and, I think he's got a tremendous upside, and he's got a great work ethic and love for the game and feel for the game. To have a 7-footer with a feel for the game is pretty valuable.
Where do you want to see Andrew Meadow grow in his second season?
Yeah, he's gotten a lot more comfortable knowing who he is too, and one of the things that he is maybe one of the better shooters in the country. And with some of the guys we lost, I think that's an important thing that we need to prove with this team, because we lost some proven Mountain West shooters, no doubt. And so he'll be really, really valuable.
You guys were pretty excited about the development of Chris Lockett last season. Obviously, with Kadarius coming in at the point guard, do you envision Chris more at the 2, or is he kind of going to be more of a backup role?
Hard to say right now. That's where all these parts fit together is going to be the biggest challenge, because I'm a believer you got to get your best players out there as many minutes as you can with your best guys, and so juggling the lineup to culminate that'll be pretty interesting.
You mentioned the size. I mean, to have Javen at the 2 potentially, and Tyson at the 3, and then Omar and Dylan. I mean, just what does that size in the Mountain West allow you to do if you got 4 guys with that kind of physicality and size? And how has Javen fit in?
Yeah, Javen has been remarkable too. The way what a great kid and a worker, and I think Nate just had to kick him off because he's back there shooting behind me. So that's pretty typical of all these guys. And he's going to be. All these guys have really long wingspan, and I think that's really going to help us. Not only everyone thinks it would be a rebounding and post up, but I think it could really translate to our defense. And you get a lot more deflections. You get those big, strong, athletic guys attacking the ball. I think you can be pretty aggressive with guys like that, because there's guys behind them that can clean a lot of stuff up too. So, but yeah, Javen's another one of those where he's a big, strong, versatile player. I mean, there's not a position on the court he can't play, really.
How can the success he had at the NAIA level translate to this level?
Just the confidence, but it also, I think that is important for him to understand he belongs at this level. And when you get a guy transferring up, I'm sure they're looking around like, well, do I belong? And he certainly does. So just to have the confidence that he does, that's probably one of the most important things. And I think playing with our guys as much as he has now, I think he's starting to feel that way, and it sure looks like it.
Well, yeah, and there's obviously been a lot of movement in college athletics recently.
Yeah.
What would you think about maybe Gonzaga being?
Are you talking about Nate?
Yeah, Nate too. Nate too.
Because I got to give a shout out to Nate. I think this is his last day with you guys, and so he just did a tremendous job, and it was so great to have on the team. And I appreciate you asking about him, and because he meant a lot to us, and he's going to go do some great things at his next job, and he will be missed here. And I'm grateful to have got some time with him. Thanks for asking.
Should have taken a shot. You will be in a new basketball league at 26, though, Leon.
Pardon me?
You'll be in a new basketball league at 26, and
We will.
Obviously Boise State and San Diego State and Colorado State and Utah State. I mean, that's a big strength of the Mountain West Conference. So
Yeah.
what do you think about the shape of that new league?
Well, I think it's it's destined to be really, really, really good, and especially in basketball. And that's my lane that I stay in. But I like how aggressive they're going to be, and it'll just keep growing. And everything might not get done in a day, but it's going to get done right, and it's going to get done at a high level. And when the dust settles, it's going to be a tremendous league. And we're leaving one of the best basketball leagues in the country. I mean, we got 6 teams, in the tournament last year. It's pretty remarkable. And so, I've been in that league a long time, but this will be my 3rd league here at Boise State. And when I first got here, we started in the junior college league, the Scenic West, and then no, but it's crazy to think that. But this Mountain West, we got 2 more years of great basketball and great basketball teams like people have grown to love. These Mountain West games on this court have been amazing, and I think this year's gonna be no different. Same with next year, and so we got a lot of that, to not worry about what's that's for the other people to organize this stuff and figure it all out. My job is to do the job that's in front of us now, and that's the big challenge of the Mountain West.
Do you expect? I know there's 4 teams leaving, so maybe it's different. You have 2 years, like you said, but I know it's already hostile going on the road this year, but I mean, just how weird. I don't know, like going to Utah. I guess you got Utah State.
Yeah,
but just some of these places that are left, New Mexico's of the world. Do you expect? Well, how do you deal with that with coaches, with fans, just being in this league for 2 more years when people may not be too happy you're leaving?
I couldn't imagine fans would, take it out on the players or coaches. We had really nothing to do with anything,
You ever been to
so.
Albuquerque?
Yes. yeah.
That's why you guys took Utah State, right?
Yeah, exactly. So no doubt. But no, this is done. I had nothing to do with it, and as coaches, we don't. It's and usually these things are pretty football driven. So I would think maybe there might be some of that in the football world, but
I know you talked about it with Johnny and Prater last week, but obviously the whole Gonzaga thing's looming out there. Other future teams, schools being talked about, like potentially being you'd have to if it was a conference game plan. But what's your thoughts on all the Gonzaga talk?
Well, my goal for us is to be the premier basketball league west of the Mississippi, and or on the West Coast, whatever you want to say. And let's go get the best basketball teams, not just geographically in the whole country. And I hope I think we'll have the mindset as a conference to do that. And then you got a great football league and a great basketball league. That's what we need.
Can you tell us about Moses? Kind of came in quietly. I don't even know if it's officially been announced by you guys. But
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
He's probably going to redshirt. He's young, and but he can really shoot the basketball, and but he's doing a good job for us. Yeah.
Any of the true freshmen you think could get some significant playing time this year?
Yeah. I could see that for sure.
who's impressed you?
They all have. A lot of them have. And again, like I said, there's, you know, there's so many things that can happen in the next 30 days I couldn't even begin to guess.
John Mallory's not here, but you know, Leon,
All game.
in the mid '90s, the Rockets, they were so good, right? You had Hakeem the Dream, and then Barkley came over, and you know, Omar's kind of your Hakeem, and then
I think he's Otis Thorpe.
Tyson's kind of the Barkley, but like, who is your like Robert or your big shot Bob? Like, who's that guy?
That is a spot on. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's real good actually. That's a good impression. Was that a question?
No,
that was
I just wanted my moment, like Johnny.
That was a John. That was a perfect imitation because I always have to be like, was that a question? Yeah, that's it.
I was gonna
That's
say the
great.
perfect impression Johnny's not being here, but no.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
Let
So Leon,
me